What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the TCG Empire YouTube channel. Today we do have Trash Deck Thursday. If you're new here, you're not sure what it is. It's where we take the deck of the week and kind of pair it against its worst matchup. Now, red is red. That's all I have to say. We are doing Zoro yet again. There's not too many decks that I can actually showcase when it comes to, bad matchups. Red is kind of good against everything. It has very few bad matchups. And considering Zoro is how it is, I feel like it's the best deck to play against Nami. Just because you have the utilities of being able to play rush characters. You play characters that cost so little, so if they get bounced back, you can replay them. And you have access to cards like Makino that can kind of, power up, your Namis, if your Otamas, if you swing with it, Buggies, Izo, everything in between. You also have Magra, which does the same thing. And overall, it just kind of adds pure aggression, and you can kind of play the matchup how you typically play it. Zoro has the best utility when it comes to the highest reward for the characters you play, because with its ability to have one Dawn and all of your characters gain plus 1000, it means ultimately that everything is a threat in your deck rather than just the few and far in between. And against Nami, you have to be as aggressive as possible and really use everything as an attacker. So Zoro kind of does it best. And as I said, with the aspect of cards being low cost, you are able to replay characters if they get bounced back by cards like Zeph, or some triggers. So overall, it feels like the best way to kind of approach the matchup. And not to mention, you have access to Zoro as well, which is a 3-drop 5000 power. And with a Dawn and the Zoro leader's ability, you're at 7, which means they have to waste an event or they have to waste 2 2Ks, and it kind of puts a ton of pressure on. So this is the deck we're going to be rocking today. The only cards that are kind of missing are the 4 guard point, but this is the list that I showcased a few weeks ago on Meta Monday for OP03 Zoro. So yeah, enjoy the video today, guys. If you do, smash that like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Otherwise, I will catch you guys in tomorrow's episode of Final Standings Friday. Alright, guys. So, we're playing against Blue Nami. We're going to be using Zoro. We're going to be going as aggro as possible. Looking at this hand, the 1-3-5 curve is what we on. Honestly, I don't hate that hand, but we need to put on as much pressure as possible. So having more 1-drops is probably better, because then we can get more pressure going, which is kind of what we want to do against the deck. So we could use Buggy. We're probably just going to use Izo, honestly, to try and get something. Sadly, we don't get anything. So we'll just put all these back and then end. But at least next turn, we have a 6k swing into a 5k swing if we need to. And then, all right, so we'll play the Buggy, we'll play the Izo, go from there. So we'll go Buggy. We can't really play this as, the way we want to, so we'll just go here. We'll give the buff, then we'll go here. So that's a 5, that's a 6k swing. So yeah, we'll just do 6 into 6 and then go from there. We got to be as aggro as we can, because we need to make sure that Nami doesn't start self-milling. So, and shout outs to the Toasted Tatter, or Toasted Tater, for helping me get this content. He, I put in the group thing I need someone to play Blue Nami, and he came up playing it. So we're gonna kind of see what we can do and go from there. So he does get rid of a Kaya off of the event, and he does get rid of Giant Gavel out of his hand. So we're not in too bad of a position. Again, Zoro is kind of the worst matchup against Nami, because it plays such low loss characters that you can get so many out and then go from there. And even if, he swings into this Makino, I have things to block it. So it really comes down to you know, how aggro we want to be. So he does get 1 Kaya down, so he can't draw 2 Trash 2, and he does have 3 Dawn, so he could play some other things. He can't get down the Chef or the Zeph or anything like that, so we're gonna have to see what goes. So he chooses to get rid of a Death Wink and then a Brick Fist, which makes sense, and then this Buggy can actually swing into Makino. As far as the Makino, like, I'm okay with it being gone. He's not really going to be attacking my life, so these cards in here are going to be stuck there. So, as far as, like, keeping the board, I'm going to have to go from there. So, he chose not to attack anything, which might have been a misplay, but it's okay. So, we could go Brook into Zoro just so we get more bodies on board. And then go from there. Because we can... I think, honestly, just turning everything sideways and going from there is the best thing. So... we can go 6k. This is at 4 right now. We can play the Zoro, so we have a pretty decent turn. So this is 4k, so we can make this 5. So we have a 6, 5, 5, and a 6. So we'll probably do the 5ks first, just so that way. Sorry, it's a 6, 6, 6, 5. So we'll do the 5ks first, just so that way he has to potentially burn some more cards. So. Okay, so chose to get rid of a Deathwing. So we used the rubber band, which is fine. So we'll do a 6k swing, then 6, then 6, and then next turn we still have some more aggression with the Brook if we want to attach more Dawn and kind of get swings from there. So again, it's not the most conventional way. I mean, with Zoro, you're kind of always playing aggro, but especially against Nami, you kind of have to swing with everything. So, which is why I made sure to put the Makino down and I'm swinging with the Izo. Again, he can potentially clear some of my board, but thankfully we have 4k combo in hand, so there's not a whole lot that he'll be able to get rid of. But he is down to 25 cards, so we are going to have to be kind of careful with how everything goes. But looking at this board state and how many attacks we can get through, we should be able to kind of go from there. He is at 2, so he can swing 6. So he does a 6k swing onto the leader. I don't really want to deal with the mill right now, so we'll go 7, and then he chooses to pass. So we're going to Nami, see if we can get another Zoro just to apply some more pressure. We can spend 3 for the Zoro, so we're just going to honestly do the same thing that we did last time. So we have a 6. We could make these 7s, which doesn't sound too bad. This needs 1 to be 5, so we could do 6, 5, 7, 6, 6. Which I'm okay with. So he chooses to take, so that's fine. So then we'll just do the 6k swings, go from there. We'll do a 6k again. We can block, and then we'll just go 7. He has to dump both cards unless it's a counter. And then he takes, so he got a trigger, and then we'll just do a 6k swing. So he's using Spada, which makes sense. And then as far as this, I don't see a real way he's going to be able to deal with the board unless he wants to attach Dawn and swing with Kaya's on our board. But as far as that, I mean, there's not really much that he can do. Zoro's just so aggressive. And the amount of, like, swings that we have is just insane. So, like, this Zoro, we can, you know, put it at 9. That way, if he has a 4k counter, he still has to dump 1 card. And then we can put this one to 9 too, go from there. So he's at 19, so I think we're safe to kind of just spread this Dawn out and go from there. So, and having 2 open, that means that, you know, we're in an okay spot as far as things go. So, you know, then we can have the 5k swing, or 6k, 5k, 7k. So Zoro's just so aggressive, and let's tell this man that we appreciate him or her. And, yeah, so, I mean, being since that was only a 7-minute video, we'll rematch again. We'll let him go first this time. Just so that way he can play things like his Kaya, go from there, so we have Curly, we have a lot we can actually do, so I think what we'll do is we'll play the Nami. and go from there, because we do have the Makino for the following turn. And then we do have the Dawn as well. Sadly, we don't hit anything off of Nami, which kind of sucks, but we can at least play the Makino down. That way we have the buff for next turn. Because we are going to be at 4. So we could play the double to Dawn and then also have a swing with Nami and the swing with Zoro and have more bodies on board. So that doesn't sound too bad. So yeah, I think that's what we'll do. So we'll go double to Dawn. We'll grab Makino again, just so that way we have some more board presence. We can grab the Izo. Then we can turn this sideways, and then we have 2 5k swings. So he's gonna have to burn 2 cards or take. He has no Dawn open, so let's go 5 into 5. And then go from there. But yeah, shout out to the Toasted Tater. Seems like an awesome, genuine person that just wants to see people succeed. And if you are watching this, just know I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. So there's the Zeph. So we are gonna have to counter the Zeph plays. So he bounces Curly back to our hand, which isn't bad. We do have the Marco as well. Marco can apply some pressure. I don't think I need to play it though. I feel like I can just kind of play this hand out and go from there. So yeah, we'll use Curly. We'll grab the Nami. Nami can do some more searching. We'll grab the Brook just so we have some more counter. We'll rest. Nami's a 6k right now, so we could go 7, 5, 6. Or we can go 6, 5, 7. I think that's probably the best way to go about that. So yeah, we'll go 5, 6, 7. So takes, gets a trigger. Let's see what he bounces back. If he bounces back, the Nami's gonna be a little bit annoying, but he gets the Desert Spada instead. Sorry, they get the Desert Spada. So now we're going for a 6k swing. They're gonna have to dump 1 card. I'm not too worried about the board right now, because with having 7 Dawn, they could do a 13k swing, 2, 4, 6, 8. But we can counter the 13k swing if it's super necessary. I could have left 1 open for the guard point, but forcing them to dump 2 cards is a lot better than, you know, risking the mill 7. Because they're at 29. If they were down to like 15 cards or something, I'd be kind of worried about the Zeph. So they get the double Zeph down. So I might have to start dealing with the Zephs now. So Zeph bounces. But at least they put combo back into our hand. I'm not sure if they realize that Kaya can swing into the Makino, because 0 to 0 is a considerable power. So, and I would have to dump a card in order to get rid of it. So they just choose to pass. So they're probably going for a big swing. I mean, I could Curly. Let's see. Because if I Curly, hit Otama. I mean, Makino works too. Makino is just another 2k counter from here. So, yeah, we'll bump this up. We'll make this Nami 7. That way he has to waste they have to waste an event if they choose not to kind of counter it. So there's the 7. And then there's the 9. So then we can make this 5. So we can go 5, 7. So they choose to take it. So then we'll go 5. And then we'll go 7. And they can use the event, but sadly, when it comes down to it, Zoro is just super aggro. Honestly, with Zoro, I mean, this is how you typically play Zoro, but most of the time, like, they're not really attacking much until, you know, their 3rd turn or 4th turn, depending on, you know, how things go. They can play the Zeph on their 3rd turn if they're on the 1-3-5, but they can't attack until their 4th turn. And by then, you've already kind of established a big board, and then they have to kind of deal with the threats. And as we saw with the bouncing cards back, our characters cost so little that we still get consistency as well as being able to kind of play. So, again, I do want to shout out the Toasted Tater, or Tatter. I'm pretty sure it's Tater, but thank you so much for helping with the content. And as always, thank you guys for watching today's video. If you do enjoy it, smash that like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Otherwise, I will catch you guys in tomorrow's Final Standings Friday.